answering your burning INZOI questions today. I feel like you've had a couple weeks to watch all of the INZOI content from a few different content creators and have a few open questions still. So I asked you all on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and I received such a variety of questions. I've tried to pick a bunch of different topics. Hopefully you will learn something new today. If you haven't seen my previous INZOI videos, I have 3 gameplay videos, a build mode video. I will leave all that linked down below. But today I have new footage, new content to show you, so let's jump right in. Question number 1, we are starting with when is INZOI out? So we don't have any further information other than they were expecting the game to come out late 2024. They said this quite a while ago though, and there's not been any updated response, so we're fingers crossed that they'll stick to that same schedule, but we honestly don't have further information. Can you talk about the computer hardware that the company sent you and the specs compared to your original computer? I was very kindly gifted the gaming PC as part of the first playtest, the gaming PC that I'm actually using right now, because the game was not optimized at all in that first playtest, so my previous computer was not up to spec. But I think the first place to start is not with the gifted PC, but the minimum requirements on Steam. So this is the official requirements from INZOI. I also want to jump into the game to show you what the settings looks like in the game. So the game is not locked to 60 FPS. You have the max FPS option here, and then a little further down you actually have some presets from light all the way to cinematic. I played with quality because I didn't want to have any risk of lag when I was filming my content, especially with so many windows open. I was just nervous that my footage would be corrupted. So I just went with quality and that was perfect. But there's a lot of customization options already, so hopefully that will support you if you do have one of the lower end PCs. Do personality types have actual effects on ZOIs? So we're jumping into the character creation, which is something that you might have been able to play with the character demo that came out a few weeks ago. So on the left-hand side, you see the option for traits, and below it, desired life. Those are 2 different things. Desired life is about what kind of lifestyle you want your ZOI to have. Traits, however, govern how they behave and how they respond emotionally to different things. So yes, they do play effects on the actual ZOIs. You have this really cool circular display of all of the different traits. Hovering over one of them, leader, on the bottom right corner, it will say characteristics, and that is very specific attributes that your ZOI will have. For example, frequently feels confident, annoyed feelings lasts for a longer time, and likes discussing business. So you might get more business options and they will have positive emotions in response to that. Another trait here is the entertainer. So that is frequently feels amused, focused feelings last for a shorter time. I think that's really interesting. Enjoys conversation, very sociable. So yeah, those are just some examples, but every single trait will have their own unique experiences for the ZOI. Can you turn aging off? So unfortunately, I couldn't find a way to do this. It doesn't seem that you can actually pause aging. You can pause the time, you can speed up time, you can use the time machine to go back in time, but I could not find a way to pause aging. Is build mode complicated? So I actually have an entire video on build mode. I will leave that video linked down below, but I guess my general answer would be no. It is just a different experience to building in other games that I play. Obviously the UI is different, the catalog of assets is different, a lot of the mechanisms are different, but I don't consider it complicated. I actually consider it to be one of my favorite parts of the game. I feel like there is a lot of creativity, customization, and freedom that build mode offers. There's a lot of detail that you can go into customizing furniture, such as selecting materials and the textiles and the patterns, and then within that you can select the colors, you can select whether something is shiny or glossy or matte. So there's a lot of detail that you can go into, but all of that is optional. So if you want to just drag an asset and drop it into the build and not do anything else, that is totally an option and you don't have to go any further in the customization. There's also a lot of amazing pre-builds. So you have penthouses, apartments, villas, houses, townhouses. You have a whole variety of houses and accommodation in the game already. So if you don't want to build, you also don't have to build. But overall, I would not consider build mode to be complicated. How do careers work and what are all the jobs? So there are already quite a few fun jobs in the game, and I imagine that there will be more added to the game upon release. We have 2 worlds. We have Dowan and Bliss Bay. Within those 2 worlds, there are 2 different selections of careers. Starting in Do 1, we have the Adam Entertainment Agency, which is a K-pop agency, and you can go all the way from a rookie trainee all the way to the CEO. Firefighter, again, all the way from a trainee all the way to a captain or station chief. And there are some part-time jobs at a convenience store and the Do 1 deli. Moving over to Bliss Bay, there is an amusement park where you can work as an office worker, a team leader, field worker, and a lot of part-time jobs at the Golden Apple Burger, Mackenzie Furniture Store, and a surf shop. One of my favorite parts of INZOI is that all of the careers that I've just mentioned are playable. They all look a little different, but the fun part is that your INZOI can actually go to work and engage with customers, perform tasks, talk to their boss, get promotions, and all of the careers are just very engaging. I've played a few different careers. I did the amusement park one. That included things like managing the cash machine, cleaning floors, stocking different vending machines and things. I also was a firefighter and actually was doing the training for the firefighting course and had to do a lot of exercise, a little bit of admin on a computer. However, equally, if you don't enjoy playing out the careers, you can either switch to play as another Zoi, or you can speed up time, or you can just have your Zoi move around autonomously and they'll just do tasks as they need. So lots of different options to avoid actually playing out the careers if you're not interested. Is there any weather in the game? Yes, there is weather in the game. In the world overview in director's mode, there is a weather category and the option to select sunny, cloudy, rainy, or snowy weather. At the moment, this is the only way that the weather will change, so you manually need to go and change the weather. It will not do it automatically, and it will rain for a couple of hours and then it will stop and go back to being sunny again. However, the Zois do respond to the weather, so if it's rainy, physically you'll see their clothes get wet. They will also try to run inside. They'll wash their clothes more frequently, which I think is a nice touch that the weather's actually dynamic. However, I do wish that it was more automatic and I had less control over that specific element. Can we have pets or dogs or cats in the game? Currently, you cannot have pets as a household. You do not have the option to adopt or purchase or create a pet. The only way you can actually engage with animals is through a world editor option where you can have animals kind of scattered around the map. You can have deers, you can have crocodiles, pandas is another really funny one, and you can interact with the cats, for example, and stroke them, but that's about it. However, something I do want to note is that in the build catalog under living room, there are some items for pets. In fact, pets have their own category. There's about 5 or 6 different items for pets. I think they're a combination of cat and dog objects, but that kind of does hint to me that that might be something we're getting in the future. Can you please show the wedding cutscenes? Can we actually have a wedding, or is it just a cutscene? The game in its current form only has cutscenes for a wedding. I actually found through my gameplay that it's quite easy to progress from being strangers to a proposal and then to a wedding. Honestly, you could probably do it within like 30 minutes real time. So it's kind of too quick in my opinion. In the social panel, suddenly you'll get the option to propose, and once you select that option, you will be shown a video, which is the cutscene. However, something that I found in director's mode, which is that kind of world overview, is under studio, there is the cutscene studio, which shows under development, but kind of alludes to being able to actually customize your own cutscene. It actually says edit the cutscene showcasing special moments of Zois, with the option to edit the proposed one or the marriage one. But it's really interesting that they might give that as an option. So I imagine it's kind of like a film, a mini movie, a mini film that you make with 2 Zois that you make, and you kind of pick the interactions between them. I feel like that's actually really cute, but at the moment there is no way to actually have a wedding. What about the baby's cutscene? How does that work? So baby's cutscene works in the same way as the proposal and the wedding cutscene. So there is an option in the social menu to suggest having a baby when your 2 Zois kind of build up romantically. Then the 2 Zois will walk over to the bedroom, get into the bed, and you will be shown the video cutscene. You don't actually know the outcome of the cutscene until you then go and take a pregnancy test. So that is the making babies cutscene. Fast forward to the delivering a baby cutscene. This is triggered after 3 days of being pregnant, and you will have the option to deliver it at a hospital. You can't actually go inside the hospital, but your Zoi will leave the house to go to the hospital, which is in the map, and then the baby will magically appear in a crib at home. Will pregnancies be more fleshed out, and will we have hospitals? So pregnancies weren't really fleshed out in the game's current state. Pregnancies lasted 3 days, and I didn't really notice any kind of change in what my Zoi was doing. So she did grow a belly. Every day it got a little bit bigger, and then after the 3 days she got the pop-up saying it's time to deliver the baby. Will we have hospitals? We already have hospitals in the game. There is a hospital in the Do1 map, which unfortunately you can't go inside. I would love it if you could. Can you play as babies? Really interestingly, in the first playtest, yes, you could play as a toddler, and you had a few different options when interacting with the parents and also walking around. And then for the second playtest, they removed that, and now you can't. Going back to my previous answer, they did explain that the last 6 to 8 months had a different set of priorities for what they were working on, such as the director's mode and the world editor, and family gameplay and babies and stuff will come in a future development stage. What are the relationships like? Same-sex, polyamorous, etc. Okay, a couple different things to cover here, but starting in the Create a Zoi, there is an option to edit the sexual identity of your Zoi. This, however, was in development with the release of the Character Studio, but we can kind of see what they're working on, that you select the gender of your Zoi, male, female, non-binary, and who they are attracted to, male, female, non-binary. Now, actually staying in Create a Zoi, you have the option to create a second Zoi in that one household. So firstly, I made Olivia James, and then I went ahead and made a second Zoi, and then you go and select the relationships between those two Zois, and you do have the option to select a married couple with 2 Zois of the same sex. However, that is the maximum number of Zois that you can have in a relationship, just those 2, and they can be of same sex. However, now jumping into the game, I've created 2 female Zois who are roommates, so they are not related or not dating, and I kind of built up their friendship, and then I built up their romance, and we were able to get to the point of a lot of like romantic interactions, and then I never got the option to have the Zois marry, and it has been flagged many times to the INZOI team, and it's just in development. Not good that this is not included in the game at this point, and I guess all eyes will be on them to include it for the next version of the game. Is it possible to travel between worlds? I don't think it's possible to travel between worlds, honestly. When you create a Zoi to move into a world, you pick either Bliss Bay or Do1, and you pick your home, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to access the other map. Will there be multiplayer? So INZOI have released a statement about this saying, "We are currently considering various multiplayer features, such as the ability to meet up with other online players or invite them over to your home, but specific details have not yet been decided." So I definitely feel like this is still a conversation that they are having internally. I know there's a lot of conversation online about people who want multiplayer, also people who don't want multiplayer. I think there's good reasons for both. I feel like the best outcome for this though is that multiplayer is offered if you want it. Will INZOI allow mods and custom content? Yes, they have already said that they will be providing modding tools separately in the future, which is really exciting, and there's been a couple of interviews. Kejun, the creator of INZOI, has said that if our viewers have good suggestions related to mods and CC, please share them on Discord, and we'll try to implement them as much as possible, which is really cool that they're already starting these conversations about mods and CC, and definitely see that being implemented into the game very soon. You know what? I think that is it. I think we have covered all of the questions that I had on my list. I'm sure there were so many other good questions that I missed, but I tried to get a variety of them for you all. If you have any more questions though, feel free to leave them down below. Maybe they'll be enough for a part 2. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video, maybe learned something new, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!